The other passion, of course, is collecting shoes, and we read you have some 700 odd pairs. Is that true?
Yeah, but I keep it a secret because my wife doesn't let me bring more shoes to the house,
Which means that if you're wearing a pair today, the next time you wear it will be after 2 years. So how many exact pairs do you have? Do you know the number?
I've stopped counting now, yeah.
You also have a passion for cars, collecting cars and all. Is that true?
Yes, I do, but yeah.
But these are what, vintage cars or new cars? Or
So I buy new cars, I even buy second-hand cars. So whichever car I feel, it's a, a comfort for you, and you. So I think I pick up those cars.
What's your favorite ride?
So I still have a Beetle, a convertible Beetle.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Boardroom. I'm Tejeesh Singh, and my guest today is Mr. Harkirat Singh, Managing Director, Woodland Shoes. Welcome to the show, Mr. Singh.
Thank you. Welcome.
So let me begin by asking you about your company. I believe you're the third generation of your family who's handling the business.
You're right, yeah.
So when was it that you first realized that this is where I want to be?
See, I've been involved in the business even during school. So it has been kind of a passion because I found, even that way I'll say my sons, this is a business which the young people like, because it's basically dressing up, fashion shoes, fashion garments. So I think it's a very good industry for a person to get into, because at that time you actually want to dress up and, you want to buy new things as samples and this and that and create your own products. So I had a designing course and all, I have done that, but then it was my passion, the garments was very important for the company that time. So yes, I started going to the factories and all, so I'm very well aware of the production lines and all, so quite into the business. So, but after my school, as I told you, I went to Moscow to learn the language because we were dealing with the USSR guys, and we had an office in Moscow because we were doing a lot of business there. So that also involved me into the business because, being, with my team there in Moscow, creating so it was very gradual, but it was like, and being the only son, I had a little bit of push also.
How old were you when you first visited your factory, your father's factory?
See, I started going very early because my office, and I was in the 6th standard or 7th standard. I used to travel a lot with him to Moscow to the exhibitions and all, because he used to take me along. So, as a youngster, you just enjoy the place, but you were looking what is happening, and how you're dealing with the Russians and how the business is happening, going to the factories. So it was like always clear that I'm doing this business, so it's.
They also say Punjabis have a particular penchant for, shoes, considering it's also used as a disciplining tool at home.
I never got to have that experience, yeah.
There's an interesting thing that it wasn't just Russian language. You actually studied philology, which is the history and development of languages. Just take us through, what was the idea behind it?
This was the only course there in the university which was teaching you the language as well as, giving you a bit of the culture and all. And I really like the culture of Russians and I really like the language. Of course, they have problems with Ukraine and all, but they're very, very warm people and, being there, having friends there, so I was very fond of their, kind of, even today if you tell me, we have an office in Moscow, so I love to be there and, do business there.
You mentioned you were the only child.
I'm not the only child.
Only son.
I have
sorry.
Sister.
Okay. So what are your fondest childhood memories?
So I always, feel being a child and I traveled a lot with my parents, and everywhere in the world, even when I was like in the third or the fourth standard. But at that time, people were hardly traveling overseas. So I've traveled everywhere. So I have a, like when you travel, you learn a lot. Even today, if I go to a fair in Italy or something, I think, travel teaches you a lot, and it opens your mind much, wider. So I think that was, that actually is the result why we also are going global and we are going to other countries, and because we feel India is not just the market, and India, we call ourselves an Indian brand now because being in India. So why not, if say American brands or Japanese brands can go anywhere in the world, why not Indians? Because it's such a small community. You go to Italy and you sit with your friends, you talk to them, they're very keen. Of course, everybody has their own liking. If we go to sell shoes back in Moscow or in, say, in Italy, so we have to create something for them. We can't say, okay, this we are making for India and this you buy. So every brand has to kind of curate the product for them. But then if you know your product well, if you feel you're confident about, so you can sell anywhere in the world. So I think travel was, which till today I have memories, when I've traveled. And normally, we used to go to the shoe shops. My dad was very fond of shoes, so we go, like how we select shoes, how we check the shoes, and like these are the memories, which remain in your mind all the life. Yeah.
So you mentioned travel is a passion, which of course came, from your parents. You were traveling with them. The other passion, of course, is collecting shoes, and we read you have some 700 odd pairs. Is that true?
Yeah. But I keep it a secret because my wife doesn't let me bring more shoes to the house, because all my cupboards are full of shoes. Yeah.
Which means that if you're wearing a pair today, the next time you wear it will be after 2 years?
So, like favorites, you always have some favorites, so which you more frequently you wear them. But of course, because you have a passion, so you pick up whatever you like. So I think footwear also today, it's become like earlier they used to say, 2 or 3 footwear or probably can do. But today, you need footwear for all, different. You go running, you go gymming, you go to a party, you go to the office, or you go to, whatever, your treks or something. So you tend to buy more shoes because, with your clothes, shoes is an important part. So I think that's with everybody, like today the options are much more, so people tend to buy more. So but if you're in business, then it's always, you need to know the new trends, you need to try out new things, because there are technologies which are coming in, so you have to try them to see how you can incorporate something in your products, how you can enhance your products. So it's a learning also. So it's not just a passion for the self-wear, but it's because of the, so it's...
Right. So how many exact pairs do you have? do you know the number?
I've stopped counting now. Yeah.
Okay, how many of them are Woodland?
I have a library in my office because my house cannot have more shoes, so my office has a library. But that's open to others also. Somebody wants a reference for a color or some pattern or something, they can come and always choose and pick up from there. But of course, I have there are some old shoes I don't want to throw them because I love them, so they're always there.
And how much percentage of these shoes are Woodland shoes?
I'll say around 30%.
Oh.
Yeah, because I pick up shoes wherever I go. So it's you have to try out the competition also.
In fact, there's another story that you once, picked up a pair of used sneakers, Balenciaga, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So whether it's used or whether it's new, if you fancy it, you will just pick it up.
Of course. I think, like today, even the used market is very big, and I think even in India, why not? Because shoes don't wear off and they can be reconditioned. So, and I don't think, like cars, so even if you buy a second-hand car or third-hand car, so, if it's good condition, why not? So I don't think it's any.
Talking about 2 of your other passions, you're also, very much into keeping fit and occasional golf and all. So, what's your daily schedule like? What time do you get up? What do you do?
I'm not a very early morning kind of a guy, so I get up around normal 6:30, 7. Whenever, like if it's a late night, so probably even 8. So I'll get up, have my tea and whatever stuff, little bit, and then go to the gym. So gym is something which I want to do, or if the weather is good, then I'll go for a walk, because I have Lodi Gardens here, Nehru Park here, which are very close by. So I have a trainer who comes occasionally, but then I've been doing that since a long time, so I don't actually feel. But it's a feel good factor, in the morning if you can do. Of course, if I'm traveling or if I'm having early morning meeting or something, then I'll do it in the evening. And but I try to do it at least once a day. If it's a good day, then probably even twice, in the morning and the evening.
From the time that you started off, I mean, it was practically a given that, the children or the son would, take over the mantle. Is that the same expectation you have from your children, that they will eventually, take over the mantle from you? Or have you given them enough freedom that, okay, if they want to choose their own path, I believe one of your sons is into investment banking also.
Yes, yes.
So what's your philosophy of parenting then?
So I think I learnt it from my dad only, that let them be on their own. Don't put any pressure, and if they want to come back and they want to do the same business, they're most welcome. But it's always better to get experience and do something new, and that's how you grow. Because there's so much else to do other than in our industry. So like what you said, one of my sons is working in New York with Citibank, then another one is also planning to do some work in US. So I'm not very keen. I keep telling them that you have this and you can always come, and they like the business, so they are very well aware of what's happening, because they keep coming back and going to the the office and seeing. So keeping in touch, I think, but then not pressurizing anybody is my way. So I've never pressurized them to do anything. So it's up to them, and if they like to start a different venture or something, I'll be more than happy.
In fact, one of your sons has started another brand also.
Yes, the middle one, he is doing his streetwear brand. So he wanted to create his own brand. He thought, Woodland is already done, so I should contribute more towards. And I feel it's a right thing what he is doing, because a brand has a time when you have to regenerate it and make it more younger. So I think his brand is much more younger, and his thought process is more younger than what we are doing. So he can create new things out of the box. So he's not scared of doing anything. We think, yaar, wo galti ho gayi thi, ye nahi karna chahiye, wo nahi karna. So he doesn't have that kind of a so he'll do whatever, and he's not scared of making mistakes. So I think that's a very good thing, because they make mistakes and they learn, and that's the way, because in life you have to make mistakes. So I think that's very good. But the best is because he's made this streetwear brand, which is doing very well.
So do you foresee a role for all three of your sons within the company, or have you sort of mentally shortlisted, okay, this is the guy who's going to take it forward?
So it's a very difficult question. So they're all equal to me, so they are all good. So I don't know, time will tell who wants to do what, and who wants, how the company is going to be, like how they are going to take their own roles. So the business is growing. So in a growing business, you always have avenues to, keep separate verticals or whatever, So that can be done, but let the right time come. So, it's too early probably for me to decide on something.
You also have a passion for cars, collecting cars and all. Is that true?
Yes, I do, but yeah. But I'm not into very expensive stuff. So, I buy whatever I like, and what is, so I keep the car. So, it's very important, and look after the car. So, it's been a passion. So, it's, continuing. So,
But these are what, vintage cars or new cars or
So I
both?
buy new cars. I even buy second-hand cars. So whichever car I feel, it's a, a comfort for you, and So I think I pick up those cars, but not very very expensive cars. I'm not fond of very expensive cars.
What's your favorite ride?
So I still have a Beetle, a convertible Beetle, which has been with me for all. So I imported it from Singapore, and of course it came from Brazil, and so it's a convertible one, very good beige color. So I like that drive. So that's been one of my favorites. But now I seldom drive it, but it's in good shape.
In terms of your own management style, how does it compare with your father's and your grandfather's?
I think they were very aggressive, and the kind of work they could do, I don't have that much of capacity. So like as I told you, my grandfather came with nothing, and then he did all this. So it's something which like I can't even think of doing that, because I got it everything on platter. So our mindset has become like everything is okay. You have to grow, you have to improve, and you have to keep adding to it. But the people who've done so much to create new things, they've done a great job. So I think I learn from them. Even today, my father being almost about 80 something, 82, so he's still goes to the office, still he's very active, and I can't even imagine at that age, me being that active in business and involved. So of course, I learn from them. So my thing is, I have to still learn from them, and I think it goes on. You really learn from the elders, and
One of the interesting things about the Woodland brand that I personally also noticed this, that when the soles get worn out, you go to a showroom and the store manager will say, sir, we can replace the sole. And this is something that has been happening for a long time. Some would say that's pretty bad for business. What was the philosophy behind this?
But I tell you, I have some friends, because we do a lot of CSR with, for environment. We have an initiative called Pro Planet. So we feel, like giving back to the environment is very important. And Woodland being a green brand, we have a tree as a logo. So it makes us more conscious about the environment. So I think the best thing today what we can do, because in a situation like this, even as I told you, I buy so many shoes, I buy so many clothes, and then you throw off old shoes or garments, and then buy new. So it's bad for the environment. Of course you're spending more on this stuff and keep changing, but if you can reuse, or if you can use your products for a longer period, I think that's the best you can do to the environment. So no matter we say our products are biodegradable, but there's a percentage. You can't make 100% biodegradable shoes, or like so organic stuff. So I think best is if you can like, of course business wise it's bad, because unless the shoe is worn off, nobody will buy new shoes. But and that's become like like people, I've met some friends, and even people I meet in the airport or an aircraft, and they'll say, यार मैंने तो यूनिवर्सिटी में ना, जब मैं था उस टाइम मैंने पैसे इकट्ठे किए थे और मैंने वुडलैंड शू लिया था, एंड वो ख़राब ही नहीं होता, एंड वो टूटता ही नहीं था, और आई हैड टू गिव इट टू समबडी, इट डजंट वेयर ऑफ. So it's a compliment, one, because you've made a brand on some strong footing, that it's long lasting, it's value for money, it's this. So when we launched Woodland shoes, they were pretty expensive at that time. Now of course you can buy shoes for 20,000, 30,000, but our shoes are still like, we average around 5 to 8,000, which is very value for money for our kind of shoes. And if the durability factor is there and people feel that it's value for money, so I think it's a big compliment to the company. And I think that's probably we've been 35 years in the Indian market, so I think Indian customer is very fond of brands which stand up to the quality and value for money. So I think that is something which we take it as a compliment.
and you plan to continue with this philosophy.
Of course, of course, of course.
I'm glad you don't have a board of directors there. They would have taken you to task.
I know. So there's something, you have to be, balanced between just business and something what you're giving back to the environment and things.
Talking about, you mentioned your sons and all. What's your relationship with them? I mean, I'm guessing it would be different from the one that, you had with your father. So if you were to compare your relationship with your father and yours with your sons, how different is it?
So sometimes I feel whether, the kind of, upbringing I have given them is the right one, because, I feel today even, like my dad, when he comes, I just stand up and, we have a lot of, it's not respect or fear or what, but you feel, but we brought up the kids like friends, so it's like when some of my kid coming from overseas, he'll hug me, he'll pick me up. I'd sometimes tell them, I'll never do that to my dad. How can you do that to me? So it's something which I feel strange about, but I think it's a good feeling, because I've always been like very friendly with them, and we've kind of gone for golf together, and they are very good at golf. So we go together as a foursome, and so it's been a different kind of a relation, and probably I have not had brothers, so it's like they are taller than me, and so I feel like as if it's a very, very good this thing. But I don't say I feel there should be respect, and there should be with the parents, of course, that is, they do respect me fully. But this is the difference, because your question was what kind of a difference you feel. So I think it's the generation gap. So I think that is how we've brought up the kids, and that's how it's a good feeling. Yeah.
What does Harkirat Singh do on his day off? Does he get a day off from work?
Yeah. I need my day off, because I can't. I feel I need a break always. Even for travel, like in 2 months, I'll have to go out somewhere. Even if it is work, I'll combine it with some kind of a leisure thing also. So my day off is, I do a lot of ghar ka kaam. So there's a lot of ghar ka kaam. My wife has already scheduled my Sunday.
You ever tried your hand at cooking at home?
I do cook, yeah. I have a small kitchen on my floor. So I do simple cooking. Chai to bahut achhi banata hu. So I make a very good tea in the morning. So I can even fry an egg and things like that. So I do that, but then of course I like to do it whenever time is there. I like to do my own thing. And
so my final question to you, Mr. Singh, in the course of your career, your life, you must have met many different people. Who's had the deepest impact on you, and if there were any life lessons that you learned from that person, could you share with us?
I think, I've met a lot of people, and I've got a lot of people I'm very impressed with. I can name you few, but if you talk about just one, then, it's a very simple question for me, because that's my father. Because, he's my father, of course, that's why I'm saying, but otherwise also, the kind of life he's lived, and the way he, teaches me everything. So I've learned a lot, with his mistakes and with what he's taught me the right things. So probably I am what I am because of him. So I think that that credit goes to him. So he's a very humble person, and he's very strict when it comes to he wants something to be done. So I think the person has to be very balanced, and as I told you, family is very important, work is, so that balance is very important. And I've never seen him greedy, I've never seen him going out of the way to do something, but he, I think that's how I've learned a lot from him. Yeah.
Any person outside the family?
Outside the family, I've known some people, but like I will name outside the family.
Why are they controversial?
थोड़ा controversial हो जाएगा.
Yeah, we'll let you go then. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Singh. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It
Thank
was a
you.
pleasure.
So that was Mr. Harkirat Singh, Managing Director, Woodland Shoes. We'll be back again soon with another episode of Beyond the Boardroom. Keep watching.